Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report, and starting with the ASX 200 here. Now we're looking at intermediate wave 4 here, and we're looking at wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then we're looking for wave 5 up here. It's been a little bit difficult to count in this little area here. Now the main thing here is that yes, I'm looking for a top and I'm looking for a pullback here, but at the same time we don't want to fight a strong trend here, and within that I know that the 6,300 here in terms of the trading levels is a strong level. So if we do get support on this, we will move up to the 6,500. Okay, so but we don't have tested support on that level yet. So there's a good chance that we can move down through here, but at the same time we want to look at long trades as well here. Okay, the Asian markets are pushing up firmly, and they'll continue to push up, so we need to see if we're going to follow them as well. So we need to be more in terms of strategy than the Elliott count here at the moment. So the Elliott count here, we've been counting up from the low here of wave 1 and 2 and all the way up for wave 3. I would feel better if that you know, it's just not, there's something not right about the way that I've counted it here, but it just sort of fits though from this wave 2 here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1, and back for 2 and up for 3 here, and back for 4 here and up for 5 to this point here. So it is possible that even from here as well, it's still possible that this wave 4 here can be sitting here, and we have wave 1 here, wave 1 to here, wave 2 to here, and wave 3 here, and wave 4 here, and we go up higher here. It does, you know, technically it doesn't sort of fit because this wave 4 has come back and overlapped wave 1 here, but I've seen weirder things, so we need to be mindful of a few things. So one of the first things we know is that the 6,300, if that becomes the support, we need to be long from that point. And one way to do that is we can move this trigger now down to this level here on top of this this high here. So if we're moving up in that space. The other thing on the short side now, if we're going with that in terms of a move down here, a move back, and then move down again, then then we need to be short under this level here. So we're getting close to a trade, whichever way it happens here, which is good news. So let's just move into, I'm not sure, the 2 hour, 1 hour chart here. Okay, so this we came up, we're looking for the top, and then we were looking at this as counting this as 5 waves down as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Not a bad fit. You know, at first glance too, this could be an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave down to here as such. So that's why I want to be mindful. We need to be long above this high here, or a nice sort of support on this level here. This this thing on the short side here, that, just clear this up a little bit, open that up a bit. So the move down here appears to be impulsive. The move up here seems to also be impulsive to the upside. This seems to be corrective here, so it's possible that this can be an A wave, a B wave, a C wave up into this space, and then fail and then move down from here. At the same time though, another move below, because we've got group 2 here, and we can see that we've got the 72 as resistance here, so that's important. So any breach lower than that, we can look to be short on that side. There will be support in here. Let me just grab that roughly there. and we can look at this space here, which is the 50% here, so we can expect support to come in here and the other support to come into here. So if that's the 61.8% retracement level and the closest largest number is 6,250, then if you went short here, you would just make the short trade here smaller than you would normally do a position for, and then the following trade would be the 50 here as a retested resistance here at that point. So it must become the resistance before you need that first low below the level, and then if it moves back up and then down, then you're triggered short this time. And if it does move down, then you can expect to bounce off this top of group 1 here as well, and there'll be lots of support mirroring these lows over here. So that would be the pathway to the downside, and the upside here, you just need to be careful. You could go long if you had support on this number here, 6272, if it was nice and tested support, and you could look to add to on top of the 80 here. Yeah, you can get trapped within this space here. If there was a move up to here, then it would react back here again before moving up, and you'd be able to get a better move in there. So any move to the upside here would be close to the 50-60% retracement level here, which we can put in here, which would be here roughly, before seeing a move down. So a little bit of a tricky move there. So let me just check on something else in the background here before we move on. Yeah, we can still expect the S&P 500 to push up a bit higher as well. So the other thing too, what normally occurs on Friday will follow through on the Monday. So a bit bearish here for this market. Now, just looking, I'll just save that, and just looking at the Asian markets now. So we normally start with China, but I want to work backwards this time. I want to start with India, with the Nifty, and in this instance here, we're looking. We were looking at this as wave 3 over here, like many of the other markets, and then looking at an A wave and a B wave up here, and then a C wave down. But this has been moving away, so we can look at it as a bullish move here. And with the Nifty here, we can also look. So we're looking at this as a bullish, bullish move now, and it's. So anyway, yeah, so the next level here, obviously we're going to get resistance at this old high here. We are working on 11,000 here, so there's going to be a bit of a vibration here as well. So, but we can expect this market to continue to move up to 11,500 before any sort of major sort of correction comes into play here. So anything here will be rather small, and a few bounces coming up and coming back and checking. So we'll definitely stay long in this market. Just see. In terms of the count going to the upside here, there's no real sort of change here. I think last time I would have pointed out from this low here as 1 and 2 and 3 here. We're coming to 4 here and 5 here. So I haven't really had this wave 3 yet, or this wave 4 here yet. So I'm just going to clean this up in here a little bit while we're here. And I could just about move that across there, and I'll just clean all these up here. Whoops, daisy. Just clean these up. So we can look at wave 3 being here. We can look at wave 4 moving back here, and then wave 5 moving up there for the top of wave 3. So I'll put that there. And then another wave 4 in 3 waves coming back before moving higher. But we need to be careful about the pullbacks. Don't think about this one too much. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put this one up here, because we're in a strong third wave, so the pullbacks are likely going to be less rather than more. and I'll just save that. And I mean, there's no real sort of harm in actually going long here again. It's just, I'll just bring that down onto those little highs here. But you'd still need to keep the stop out of the way. So in this case here, we'll just borrow that and put that under here. You just need to keep out of the way a little bit. And no point over trading in here, just a small position, and we'll look to build in as well. And we need to know that we've left this here because you know, the norm is that we have the arrival, the reaction here, and then we have the first 5 waves above the level, which we've got here. So we've had the arrival, the reaction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 above the level, and then we would normally see an A and a B and a C come back and moving up. So we need to be mindful of that. So don't make that a big trade. The Nikkei too, I want to look at that here. We were looking at this as wave 3 here, then an A wave and a B wave over to here, and then a C wave down for wave 4 here, and looking at this as down for wave 1, an A and a B and a C back for wave 2, and then down. So if the Nifty's moving off, then the other Asian markets may be moving off as well. So one of the things here is that we can also count this here as wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. With this move up here has already moved past the 61.8% retracement level. I better check that, looks a bit low, but no, that's right. So, and not that that's the end of the world, we can still look at that as an A and a B and 5 waves up for a C wave here. It can move a little bit higher and then move down from this point here. And if that's the case, like I've mentioned before, we'd be short under the 22 here. But what I want to point out today is that we need to, and I think I've probably pointed out before, just check on these intraday charts, that we need to start looking at it in terms of moving higher, because we're above the 61.8% now. And you see how the speed of this is moving here now? It's moving quite quickly, isn't it? So it's got the personality of wave 2, of wave 3 here, and wave 3 moving into here. So yeah, we don't want to miss this. So I think we can get a small position within here, and I'll just check what I've done on the hourly chart here. So yeah, we were looking at this as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave moving here. So just be mindful that that it can stop from here. Just move these here, just 1 second. Put these levels in there, 22,000, copy that, and 23,000. This is the number here that we can really work, and at that point too, that if this becomes a support, being number 3 here will be the top of group 1, then we can certainly turn bullish from that point. But we'd look for the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then a corrective wave, and then up from that point. So this is really where you know, that we can really look to go long in these points here. So, but yeah, anyway, that's because it's moved above the 61.8% mark here, which is this one, then we need to look at this being bullish there. So now, just working backwards, we'll take the Hang Seng instead of China. So with the Hang Seng here, it still looks like there's another move to the downside here, because I don't see a wave 4 here. I can see that we know that this is in 5 waves here, right? So we need to call this wave 1 and wave 2 here, and all of this wave 3 here. So we're looking at I'm still looking at this as wave 4 here. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 4, and then down for wave 5, which won't be, you know, which won't be very long here, because the extension's in wave 3. So wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same. So if I go to the 4-hour chart here, the 4-hour chart, wave 2 here, counting 5 waves down here, and looking at this here as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. This is the 38.2% retracement level here. So yeah, so we can move up here, and this counts quite nicely as an A wave and a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave. That said, this last part of the structure hasn't counted very well down here, so it is possible to have this as wave 5 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5 here. So I do think that because of what's happening in the other Asian markets, I do think that we need to also look at this, look to build into a trade here on the next high here. We should be able to get it close to break even, so that that price there, 28.5, so 28.7, so support on 28.7. Oh no, we can go 650, support on the 650 here. It's got to be a nice support on that 650. Then we can go long on that point there. And we may not get very far, but at the same time, if the others are pushing up, we may be pushing up here further. So it's not such a, it's not such a silly move to take that on board there as a trade. The other way you can look at this here too is by taking this high here and this one here, and in fact we'll do that. That will separate it a little bit. So I'll just configure that here. So yeah, so we'll look to go long there, even though we won't get far, and we can just put this under here for the time being. And this still may come down here. This may still be down for 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then down for 1 and back for 2, and keep moving down here. So that's on the cards too. But we don't want to miss any sort of trend to the upside here. Even if it is short-lived, there's still a 50% possibility that it can continue at that point. And building in a small trade here, we can look to build in, on top of, well, on top of the 38.2%, and then on top of this major level here. So for China as well, let me just get the daily chart here. So for China, the A50, we're looking at the same thing as well. We're looking for wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 pulling back to 11,500, which is the 38.2% retracement level, and then one more move down. So if I just go into the 4-hour chart here, so this is the way that we're looking at it here, and I think I'll just continue to wait a little bit here as well, because we don't have, it's close, but we don't have this as support yet, do we? We don't have that. That's not support, that's still resistance here. We still need to see, in terms of support, we still need to see this first high above the level and then a fallback here. So, I mean, even that spiked up there, that doesn't really count for me. So we'd still need to see that move up and then the move back here, then we can use that as a high to go long from that point. So we don't have that set up just yet, but it's close. And but we're still one wave short here with all this as well. We can see we've got a very clear wave 1 here and 2 here. So we don't have a wave 4 here. So this is obviously the wave 4. But at the same time, we just need to be, sometimes wave 4s are really sort of small. It could be something silly like in here. So anyway, we don't have support on 11,500. If we do, we get a signal, we'll take it. All right, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Cheers.